This week on the RV podcast,
Finding RV gold in Florida, a very surprising motorhome deal that proves there is an RV out there that you can afford.
there is more information coming out on how the Trump administration's layoffs, firing, and forced retirements in the National Park Service threatens to seriously disrupt camping out west this summer.
And in Mike and Jen's story time this week, the embarrassing tale on the day our RV became our biggest fan.
All this plus the RV social media buzz and your questions coming up in episode 538 of the RV podcast.
Hello, everybody. I'm Mike Wendland, and this is my lifelong traveling companion and my bride, Pretty in Pink, and our new RV lifestyle sweatshirt with the little logo there.
Yeah, I like the pink.
I like it.
Makes me think of spring.
It does. We are down in Florida this week, and this has been a crazy week. I don't know if those daylight savings time adjustments mess you up as much as it does us, but that little clock jumping DST adventure over the weekend sure threw us for a loop. We lost an hour's sleep. But there's a positive side, right?
Yeah, we've got that extra hour of daylight in the evening.
And we're one step closer to spring. Spring forward leads to spring. I know what you're thinking. There was snow last week in parts of Texas and more coming this week to the northern states. And here it is now in the double digits of March. But trust me, those snowflakes are winter's farewell party, and the cold days are numbered, my friend. We're going to have warm weather and blooming flowers sometime soon.
The sunshine is staying with us longer each evening, and that's pretty nice to have. And flowers are starting to bloom. It's all looking good.
I saw flowers out in front, actually. Here we're in Florida at our condo down in Florida, and winter's grip is loosening. All right, we've got a really interesting guy we want you to meet. We met in the parking lot of the condo that we have here in the Emerald Coast in Florida. And you're going to meet him and his RV that he got at a great deal in just a couple of moments. But first of all, we want to tell you that this part of the podcast is brought to you by Keystone RV's Montana line of luxury fifth wheels. When it comes to serious RVing, the Montana name stands apart, and there is a compelling reason why.
For over 25 years, Montana has set the gold standard in luxury fifth wheels, combining superior craftsmanship with continuous innovation. Every model features thoughtful touches like expansive front living spaces, residential-style kitchens, and construction that's been tested to withstand everything from cross-country adventures to winter camping.
Now, our own Montana High Country has been our home on wheels for the past 2 years. We've traveled tens of thousands of miles across America and have been consistently impressed by its robust construction, the attention to detail. We sometimes joke that it's our luxury condo on wheels. That's how comfortable the living experience truly is.
Choosing a Montana isn't just about buying an RV, it's about embracing a lifestyle where luxury and adventure meet at every mile. So if you're ready to elevate your RV experience, visit KeystoneRV.com to discover why Montana continues to be the choice for RVers who refuse to compromise on quality and comfort.
All right, time now for the RV conversation of the week. And we entitled this one, Finding RV Gold in Florida, a Surprising Motorhome Deal. As I mentioned at the top, we're at our Florida condo, and the other day I caught something in my eye in the parking lot, an older but well-maintained Airstream Interstate Class B van that was parked just a few spaces away from us. And we were on the way taking Bo to the dog park, and we noticed the owner outside working on his rig.
And so we introduced ourselves and offered some assistance with a few Class B questions that he had. And that's when we learned he had just purchased the 2004 Airstream Interstate. And he got a great deal.
Now, over the past few days, I've gotten to know this guy a little bit better, and I think his story is well worth sharing because his experience proves that there are some pretty amazing deals out there if you're willing to look. And if you've been thinking that an RV is just too expensive for you, it's out of your price range, I think his story will change your mind, because the price he paid for this Airstream is going to surprise you, and it just might inspire you to do your own RV search. Tell me who you are and what this is.
My name's Scott Tonnelier. This is a Airstream Interstate 2004.
And you bought this down in Florida?
I did.
Used?
Used.
Have you ever had a motorhome before?
I have not had a motorhome. I have been in motorhomes and used, but haven't owned one.
Well, tell everybody how you came here to Florida, how a motorhome fits into your plans. Did you plan on buying one, or did it just come up?
I came to Florida. Well, I'm from Florida. I worked 15 years in the Middle East doing construction. I'm a construction project manager. And I was recruited to come back to the United States about 1.5 to 2 years ago to do work in Pearl Harbor, to redo all the security gates. Then I was recruited to do a job in Annapolis, Maryland, and mobilized for construction April 7th. So I thought, well, instead of staying in a week, month at a time, paying $2,500 a month to stay in a hotel, I'll just buy myself an RV and I'll run up there and I can take it to the job site also. So I was looking, and I was looking for some specific things. I always kind of like the road tracks, and I was looking for that because I'm familiar with the chassis, the Chevy, Dodge, Ford chassis, because I've had all of those. But I was meeting somebody for lunch a couple weeks ago, and I drove past this. It had for sale signs on it, and out of curiosity I called.
This is an example about how there is an RV for everybody, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I know it's a personal question, but people would love to know, what did you pay for this?
Okay, this is $15,000 is what I paid for it.
And it has how many miles?
150.
And other than a few things that haven't been running in a while, have you had any major problems with it?
No. The thing that was bothering me a little bit was the tranny was shuddering a little bit on gear changes, which I put a tube that friction,
yeah,
increasing stuff in, and it seems to be almost perfect. Still a little shudder, but because I'm not from, I would have to drive a few more that are at this age, these miles, to actually compare it to something. But it just might be the way they are.
Well, that engine, that Mercedes Sprinter engine, runs forever. 300,000 miles is not unusual.
I'm familiar with this motor, because we had one family car, was a 300 turbo diesel, which is the same motor. So is there anything you would have done different in buying it used from a private owner? I would have had it inspected, either one of the mobile guys who goes out and pulls plugs. Of course, there's no plugs here, but runs the computer, looks for errors, and test drive it. Somebody get under it. But I'm fairly able as a mechanic myself. I used to do all my own work until I got tired of doing it.
Yeah. So now that you have a Class B motorhome, how do you plan to use it?
Well, I'm in beautiful sunny Florida right now, so I'm going to drive to the beach. This awning will come down, and I'll put out a lawn chair and sit here. And
do you see yourself camping in it, spending time in it, overnighting in it, living out of it?
Yes. The couches fold down to a bed, king size. I'm going to use it kind of like a mobile office, and when I go to the construction job site, I'll sleep somewhere, campground, and then I'll just drive into the job site, and I'll have a mobile office basically.
And then what about just hanging out, seeing the country, going to fun places? You see yourself visiting national parks, any of that kind of stuff that most RVers do?
I will. I've been to all 50 states. I've traveled a lot and done some camping. I look forward to doing it in this. Maybe my son, he meets me. I send them tickets, my son and daughter. So I'll send them a ticket to meet me in Wyoming or whatever. We'll go fishing.
Yeah. So what have you been doing this week? Every time I have been out here, I have seen you cleaning it. You've washed it. It looks like you've made the surface look a little nicer on it.
Yeah.
And you've been tinkering around with the inside.
Cleaned it up, checking fuses and trying to find where everything is and how it works. And thank you for helping me with that, Mike. Cleaning the tape off the goo from the for sale signs. And a few little fixes that I could do. I've been to the new wiper blades, checked the tires for air, checked the oil, checked the fluids, and like that.
Well, what advice would you give people who, because you know what these things sell for new? These are $300,000.
Yeah.
Easy. So for people who say, I really want an RV, I just can't afford one, you give them some advice and anything you've learned in your shopping around for them.
Well, I just Googled what I was looking for, and what I found, you know, in my...
Break that down a little bit. What did you Google exactly?
Okay, so I Googled Class B road trek. I think I put, I'm not sure whether I put year or budget, you know, price range. And once I clicked on one, then thanks Mark Zuckerberg, the algorithm kicked in and it just kept feeding me options. So as I was looking through the options like RV Trader and some of the bigger websites, they kind of linked, like surfing, they would link to other websites that had other deals. And what I found was, I found deals, but I would have to fly to Maine and pick it up and drive it back, or California or somewhere, Colorado. And that was not out of the question for me, but when I found virtually exactly what I wanted, 30 minutes from where I'm renting a condo at a good price, I'm like, yeah.
This was just sitting on a corner with a for sale sign?
Yep.
And the owner, did you learn anything about the owner? He was...
The owner is retired, and he has had it since 2017, bought it from the original owner. The original owner was Marine of some kind, retired, I don't know. But I've had pictures from when he had it, and he had Marine Corps stuff all around, which I think that's a good thing.
Yeah.
They're trained to take care of stuff. I
Yeah.
like that. Plus it was his. I mean, he bought it new. So Grant bought it from him 2017. He's had it ever since.
Well, you know, everybody has to name your RV. Have you given some serious thought to this yet?
I haven't. I've got a couple of ideas because of the color scheme. Not sure. Maybe Thunderbolt or something like that.
I like Thunderbolt. So, back to my question, what advice would you give people about that there are bargains out there and how to find them? You mentioned how you Googled.
Yeah, shopping and asking around. I mean, I'm a big believer in networking and just talking to people and saying, hey, I'm looking for something. Do you know anybody who's selling something like that? And I did that with a few sales guys
At dealerships.
That's how far I got into my searching until I just basically, God bless me, you know, I was not going to go to lunch, and if I had not said, oh, okay, I'll go to lunch, because it was Monday, President's Day, I was going to catch up on my work. I went to lunch, and then Google was taking me a certain way, and I turned Google off because I could see where I was going, and it made me run 2 blocks earlier. If I had followed Google, I would have pulled right up to the place we were having lunch, and I would not have seen this.
So you got a lot of stuff in here.
Yeah, I moved out this morning.
So one of the things that I really like about this, and you don't see this in them, is that you have the rear galley back here.
Yep.
That's really nice. So this makes into a bed.
Yeah, you can actually sleep on half of
Yep.
it easily.
2 singles or a full or a king. A wardrobe. And this is the kitchen. 2-burner propane. Nice sink. Your control center's up here. You do have some solar up there, so you got like 1,000 or 100 watts of solar anyway, and it's charging your battery.
Yeah, the battery went up to full.
Generator, medicine cabinet, and here is the head. So this is vintage Airstream, a rod there that you can put your towels, a shower, toilet, black tank, gray tank. This was really the princess of the Class B fleet back in 2004. Well, Scott, I wish you great luck on this, and I think it's just encouragement if people shop around. There is an RV out there, and you look like you've actually been enjoying tinkering around with this thing this week. It makes me want to try it myself.
I have. I've lived in hotels basically for a long time with no garage. My tools are locked up in a storage in Gainesville, and you know, this was my tool. This is my tool set for the last 15 years.
Yeah.
But I've got a 8x16 trailer full of real mechanic tools and carpentry tools.
Well, welcome to the life of being a nomad.
Thank you.
Well, Scott is off on his first adventure camping along the Florida coast.
Yep, filled it up with propane, and he's out there having fun. So check it out. He gave you some great tips on how you can find an RV that you can afford. All right, right now, I'm going to ask you a big question. Are you tired of campground restrictions? Well, listen up, because we're going to show you the RV land report. It's how you can get RV land of your own, where you can camp as long as you want. And we're going to check in 2 different regions of the country. We're going to start out west with Eric Pozniak from Western Land and Ranches. And he's going to tell us about some pretty cool opportunities in RV land out in the state of Colorado.
We have some exciting things going on right now. We are focused on a grand opening out in Walsenburg, Colorado, minutes off of the I-25. I mean, we have never had anything this close to an interstate, so we are super excited. These are big pieces of property, and I mean, we are rocking and rolling.
Tell us a little bit about them. What's it like? What can you do with your RV out there?
Sure. So the best part about this, and there's many, there is no HOA. There are no restrictions. These are 35 to 40 acre size lots, like I mentioned. And we, as a developer, we're actually pulling electricity throughout this property. It is going to be an amazing project when it's completed.
What's the countryside like out there? You're in Colorado, and it is a pretty diverse state. What's it going to be looking like when you're out in your RV?
So this is just nice, gently rolling hills, and we have incredible views of the Spanish Peak Mountains, part of the Rockies, and then you could kind of see the rest of the Rockies as they go to the north. Amazing.
All right, tell everybody how they can check out this place and learn more about it.
Sure. Best thing to do is go to www.coloradoranchsale.com. So coloradoranchsale.com.
Eric from Western Land and Ranches, talk to you later, buddy.
You betcha.
And now let's head east and see what we have in RV land east of the Mississippi. And we're now joined by Tom Spikowski from Tennessee Land and Lakes to talk about RV properties being sold this month in Tennessee.
We have, it's the final section of something called the Reserve at High Forest. And it's a magnificent hilltop estate. It's been a wild success, especially when it comes to RVers. We've had a lot of people buying RV property there, setting up the most unbelievable camps. You can do what you want. It's your property, your way. And it's so unusual. And it's really close to Nashville. This is only just south of Nashville, and right in the middle of horse country by Natchez Trace Parkway. It's been an exciting project.
We know that we've actually visited that parcel of land. It's not far from the land that we have in Tennessee, and it is gorgeous land. How big are the lots?
The properties range in size from 5 to 43 acres, and there are quite a few properties in between that in the mid range, and nicely priced. You can get properties for about half of what they're selling properties for in that area. So,
And this area is called, am I right, the big backyard of Nashville, and there's just a lot of growth heading that way, and people
yeah,
are looking.
Nashville's big backyard. There's more jobs created than they can even fill. High paying jobs. The economy is robust. You're right next to Music City, but beautiful countryside. Like I said, horse country, and it's spectacular. Yeah.
All right. So tell people how they can find out more about it. Where do they go?
The site is rvlands.net. rvlands.net.
All right.
rvlands.net.
We'll put it in the description below. Thank you, Tom.
Terrific. Thanks for having me.
All right, right now it's time for the social media buzz. We're going to check in with Wendy Boyer, who's going to bring us up to date on all the hot issues talked about this past week on social media about the RV lifestyle.
Hi, everybody. In our RV lifestyle community, we had a great time last week in our virtual campfire where we all got together online at the same time to chat, and we were talking about things you got to do to get your rig ready for the camping season. Things to replace, things to inspect. It was a great conversation, and I just love getting on those lives with everybody. It feels like a group of friends. In fact, if you haven't checked out our RV lifestyle community or you don't know what I'm talking about, it's a group we recently started as sort of an alternative for Facebook, but it's way, way more than Facebook. There's information there, friendships being formed, warm, friendly. We even have our own motto, which is have fun, make friends, find adventure. Come check us out. We'd love to have you join in the fun. But of course, when we're talking social media, we still have our RV Lifestyle Facebook group with well over 500,000 people in it. There is always something to talk about there. And Raphael shared a post recently that really got people talking. He wrote, "Whomever recommended this for cleaning the RV, thank you. I poured a 32-ounce bottle in a bucket halfway full of water, and it took off all the black streak and dirt from my RV instantly. It cost $3 to clean my entire 40-foot fifth wheel." Now, this product that he's talking about and that he shared a picture of, it's called LA's Totally Awesome All-Purpose Cleaner. You might have seen it at your local dollar store. This really got a conversation going, well over 360 comments. People love this stuff. There were so many people who shared how they had also used it to clean their RV. Some people started talking about how it cleans their clothing amazingly. And for all this enthusiasm, what I wanted to share with you is there was also some words of caution. Many people said this is one strong cleaner. You really need to pay attention to diluting it, rinsing off your rig if you use it to clean your rig. Some said that it will take off the paint. Others said it can take off your varnish. One woman shared how she used it on her horse trailer, and it just, all the paint came off. So bottom line, can really clean, but you really have to pay attention to your mixing, rinsing it off, maybe use caution and test a little section first. But based on the enthusiasm for this product, wanted to share it with you. And then another thing that people were really talking about in the Facebook group was a tip from Diego. Now, I'm sure you've seen the news stories of people who've had their RVs stolen. Sometimes they show up on our Facebook group and people say, hey, keep your eyes out, this RV was stolen. Well, Diego had seen these posts, and so what he decided to do is he got one of those air tags and he decided to hide the air tag better inside his rig. So he got a picture, he showed a picture of everybody of this 3D printed holder he created, and then he got this super sticky tape and he hid it in this little holder he made in his RV. He said originally he did just put the air tag, without hiding it in his closet, and now it's in this device and you can't really see it and it's hidden. So he shared this as a tip for others to consider if they also have air tags in their RVs. And boy, did this get people talking. Some people had never thought of putting an air tag in their RV, but others who had, they said, this is a great idea. I need to do a better job of hiding mine. There also was a really interesting conversation about how you need to program your AirTag before you put it in, so it won't show up on other people's Apple devices. It will only show up on yours. And then there was a talk about even GPS trackers and getting those and putting them in your rig. So if you're concerned about just having that extra safety precaution and you do get an AirTag, you might want to take Raphael's advice and find a way to hide it better. And that's it for me this week. I'm Wendy Boyer, and I will see you either in our RV lifestyle community or Facebook group.
I found that a good reminder for everybody about the AirTags, that if you don't have one, get one. If you do have one, don't have it in a real obvious spot. Try to use your imagination and hide it a little bit. So always something to learn.
And I'll add another one, that the batteries in those things, they're very easy to replace, but they do go out. After about a year, you want to replace them. If you go much past a year, they're going to go out on their own, and then of course, no battery, they're no good. But replace the batteries in them, and I think you'll find that is a big help.
We have an invitation for you. It's an invitation to have fun, make friends, and find adventure by joining us at rvcommunity.com. And that's our private online community created exclusively for RV enthusiasts, away from the noise and the nastiness. You know what it's like on public social media, like Facebook. We truly believe that the journey is always better together.
And at rvcommunity.com, you're connecting with RVers who share your passions, from boondocking under the stars to swapping campfire recipes, capturing stunning landscapes through your camera lens, or even traveling with your four-legged co-pilots.
With over 24 special interest RV groups, there is a space for everybody. And best of all, there are no ads, no distractions, just real conversations and genuine friendships.
But that's not all. Join us at 3 exclusive rallies every year, held in breathtaking locations across North America. Share stories, learn from experienced travelers, and create unforgettable memories, because RVing is about the people you meet.
Now, you'll get direct access and coaching from Jen and I. We do regular live streams just for the community. There's instant chat. There's meetups in local areas and regional spots. And you're not just joining a community, you're becoming truly part of an RV family.
Come check us out at rvcommunity.com for more information. We're all about 3 things: having fun, making friends, and finding adventure.
That is how we live every day in the RV lifestyle community, because life's greatest moments happen when you dare to explore.
Now it's time for the news of the week, and our first story is about nearly 4,000 campsites in California's 18 national forests could close all or part of the summer because of safety concerns following staffing cuts.
Now, we've been reporting on this for the past few weeks, and this isn't just California. Across the country, national parks are losing employees, but we haven't talked a lot about the U.S. Forest Service. They've had 2,000 employees cut over the past few weeks. The New York Times got a hold of a memo, and it said that the cuts in California mean there's not enough people to maintain the trails, to remove all of the human waste that is out there, to manage the visitor centers or search and rescues in many remote parks. And so they're thinking that they may have to shut those all down. Now, there's a lot of hyperbole about all these layoffs in the national park. I mean, they certainly don't want to lose employees. And the Trump administration is pushing pretty hard for those cost-saving cuts. We've been saying that slowly these things will work out, that these numbers will address, but honestly, we don't know. We just keep hearing you can't cut 2,000 employees and not have an effect on the U.S. Forest Service, which maintains all those great boondocking spots or primitive camping spots all across the West. So California in particular is going to be hard hit, it looks like. And meanwhile, the whole National Park Service set a record last year for the number of visitors to the national parks and the national monuments. They had almost 332 million visits. The previous record was set way back in 2016. And now those numbers are being released by another group that's advocating to bring back these employees, and that's the National Parks Conservation Association. But I don't think there is any doubt that the parks are popular with the public. And we know that so far, all those cuts in the Trump administration result in about 9% of the employees in the NPS be their early buyouts or being laid off. And they're continuing to predict big problems. So we're going to just have to see how this shakes out. Summer is coming, though, so let's hope that there's some sort of a deal worked out between now and the earnest start of the National Park Service. What else we got?
Well, if you're camping this week, and even if you're not, look for a total lunar eclipse late this Thursday night, early Friday morning. An eclipse happens when the Earth is perfectly positioned between the moon and the sun, with the moon having a red hue, often called a blood moon, before the eclipse occurs. While the eclipse will start before midnight Thursday, it will be primetime viewing between 2:26 and 3:31 a.m. Eastern Time.
That is pretty cool to see. If you want to be up that early in the morning, send me a picture, because I won't be up. There's an interesting story, last one we want to talk about, going around up in Michigan. There's a guy facing a dozen felony charges for breaking into those self-pay pipes, and some of the primitive camping sites where it's a little pipe in the ground, you just put your money in or your envelope in.
That's a lot of temptation for some people.
It is. There's some guy who figured out how to get into them, and he has been going around all these Upper Peninsula primitive sites, and they caught him. He somehow found a way to get in, and they've got him facing a bunch of charges. All right, when we come back, the RV question of the week, and then Mike and Jen's story time.
When we're asked what's the most important modification we made to our RV, it's an easy answer. Battle-Born batteries. Battle-Born batteries are quality, safe, reliable lithium batteries that allow us to stay out there off the grid longer. Lithium batteries charge faster, they charge fuller, they're longer lasting, they're maintenance free, and Battle-Born batteries are protected by a 10-year guarantee. Now in our case, they just dropped into the existing AGM batteries that we have, and they'll probably be the same on your rig too. Battle-Born battery experts can get those in your rig just like they did with ours. They can also match you up with the right cabling, the inverter, the charger, the solar controller, everything. Jennifer and I swear by our Battle-Born batteries. They allow us to boondock off the grid. Check them out. Go to rvlifestyle.com/lithium. rvlifestyle.com/lithium.
Now for the question of the week. I was talking with my banker and shopping around for a loan to finance a new RV, and he said that he had heard there was a big industry survey out that claimed the number of RVers was plummeting, and the industry was in terrible shape. I don't know whether he said that to justify a loan a couple of points higher than I found otherwise, or if it's true. Your thoughts, Sam?
Okay, Sam, I think he's probably talking about a survey that was released a few weeks ago by Go RVing. And Go RVing is the marketing arm of the RVIA, the RV Industry Association. So it's an industry marketing outfit. And indeed, the survey they released, the 2025 survey, showed that the number of households that own RVs significantly dropped since their last survey, which was back in 2021, which is right after the COVID days. But here's a couple things still. Look, so, that's a pretty big drop from 8.2 million households that they say they're out there right now to back in 2021 when the figure was 11.2. And that's the figure a lot of people, there's 11.2 million households that are RV owners. Well, those figures have always, by a lot of observers, including us, have always been a little in question because they just seem a little overly optimistic. And when you look at the number of wholesale shipments and retail sales and all that the manufacturers and the dealers report, it doesn't seem to be that robust of a number. So anyway, the 2025 survey now which they've changed the way they survey it a little bit, made it a little more accurate. They think they've tweaked it. And the 2025 survey says 8.2 million RV households, not 11.2. Now, is that really a 3 million household drop? I don't think so. I think that first number was just overly optimistic. Now, that first number that came in 2021 that said 11.2 million, remember that was right after COVID. And the RVIA certainly is interested in putting a positive spin on everything. So I think maybe they thought a big number like that would appeal to the industry, make it look more healthy than it was. I don't know. But I do know that when an industry statement comes out and a survey comes out, you got to look at it a little more skeptical than normal, because it's in their interest to show a whole lot of people. So now, I don't know if they heard all the criticism or if they really just tightened up the survey mechanisms, but they show us 8.2, not 11.2. However, and I think that's a reasonable number because that kind of jibes with what we see in wholesale sales, retail sales. But as to your banker saying that the industry is in, quote, terrible shape today, that is clearly hyperbole on his behalf because, well, this isn't the best year for the industry. It is by far not the worst, and RVs are still in big demand. In fact, that 2025 survey by the RVIA says that there are 9 million households in the U.S. that plan, not are thinking about, but plan to buy an RV at some future date. And that's a pretty big market that points to long-term stability and growth. So as for your banker and whatever loan rate he's charging you, I would urge you to shop around because those extra points really add up. And I think you can probably get a better deal someplace else. All right. You know what time it is now.
It's time to grab a bag of popcorn and sit back and listen to Mike and Jen's story time.
And the title of this one is The Day Our RV Became Our Biggest Fan. And this is kind of an a lot of our stories are embarrassing, aren't they?
Yeah, that's usually what makes a good story.
Well.
So once upon a time in the land of well-intended marketing decisions, we made a choice that would live in infamy. The great RV wrap catastrophe.
All right, picture this. We had at that time, we'd just gotten a pristine white Sprinter Class B van, a blank canvas of possibilities. So along came our sponsor's marketing director with what seemed like a brilliant idea.
Let's turn your RV into a moving billboard. I'm kind of worried about that. People will see your faces everywhere and go visit your website. What could possibly go wrong with that idea?
Well, the graphic artists worked their magic and designs were approved. And 4 days later, ta-da, our automotive masterpiece was complete. The drive home, I drove it home. It was pretty ego boosting. I was getting honks and waves and thumbs up. We're celebrities, I thought. And then I pulled into our driveway, and Jennifer's face did not say we're celebrities. It said, "No way," she said.
I thought, I'm not riding in that thing.
So there we were, across the back window, 7-foot-long caricatures of Jennifer, Mike, and Bo plastered across the side windows. "Meet the Wendlands," announced in foot-high letters like we were some traveling circus act.
Yeah, I think that's about it, a circus act. Our web address was boldly proclaimed there. Everybody could see it just in case people miss the
subtlety of our giant faces.
Yeah.
It wasn't just a rap. It was kind of this giant cry for attention wrapped in vinyl and desperation. The final straw, though, came when we took it up north camping.
At our Tequamatum Falls campout, our winter campout, our RV friends, bless their hearts, tried to contain their laughter. I don't think they tried very hard. They failed miserably.
We pulled in and they're all going, It turns out when your RV screams, look at me," what it's really saying is, "My owners have made a terrible mistake."
back home we went, tails between our legs, to have that wrap removed and our dignity partially restored.
We came back during the daytime, but I really seriously thought about driving back at night so no one else would see it. But there's a moral to this story.
And the moral is sometimes the best way to stand out is to blend in, and always, always get your spouse's approval before turning your family vehicle into a rolling billboard featuring their caricatures.
Oh, well, we learned another lesson, didn't we? So if you listen and watch the podcast version that's on YouTube, you'll actually see this monstrosity. If you're listening to this as you drive and you listen to the audio version, go back to the RV Lifestyle YouTube channel, youtube.com/RV Lifestyle, and you can scroll by and you can actually see it. But suffice it to say that wrap did not stay on long, and there will be no more wrap on any of our RVs.
No more wrap, but we gave a lot of people a good laugh.
I think the only thing we have now is I use this little sticker right here. It's a little sticker that just talks about our RV community, and that's subtle, and it's on the back bumper, and that's it. So there we go. All right, if you have a comment or question about anything you saw or heard today on the podcast, we would love for your opinion and your questions and your comments. You can send it to our private email. It is mikeandjen@rvlifestyle.com. Thank you guys so much for watching and listening.
Happy trails.